welcome back to my podcast, Filmmaking, Actually. Ta-da! I figured I'd do a follow-up on my episode from a little while ago about what type of producer you need and all the different types of producers. I want to talk about why some of those producers are producers that you actually have to hire. They're not going to get money for you. And to be clear, even executive producers, the ones who get you funding, they get paid too. So like an executive producer, the type of producer that helps with financing, either they write you a check or they are the ones who help you find someone who's going to write you a check. Usually they own a percentage of the film. They also get their money back. They get a return on their investment. If they're the finder or the person who connected you to the money, they might also get a percentage of the film. They might get a check for the money that they get in. Usually they get a percentage of it. It can be a finder's fee, whatever. The project itself is an investment for them, and the return on that investment is their paycheck. They also can get paid an actual salary as an executive producer. In a commercial film project, they're getting paid. Whether they're getting paid now or they're getting paid later, people are getting paid. And to be clear, when I say a commercial project, I mean something where there is money involved. I don't mean a bunch of people coming together in their backyard to make a movie, to learn, to have fun, to make art. There's very different pieces of the filmmaking world. This is the commercial world where commerce is involved. Now, I will say that if a project is a commercial film, it's a feature film, it's going to get distribution, it's going to go to streaming, it's going to go to television, whatever. Short of a genuine production assistant who's actually there to learn and they're given a nurturing experience, which I've talked about in other episodes, and that's a very specific situation, every other person should either be paid cash or should be compensated before anybody gets a return on investment. That's my personal opinion. That's how we structure our waterfalls. The waterfall is how the money goes back to people after a film gets sold, and now there's money coming in off of it. If anyone stands to make money off of a project, everybody who worked on that project should be getting paid, and they should be compensated commensurately. You shouldn't be paying a writer $50 million and giving an actor $100. Now, obviously, Aaron Sorkin's value versus your next door neighbor's little sister as an actor, unless you live next door to the Olsen twins or something, that's nuance and complexity and all that stuff. And obviously, there's not just some blanket rule. I don't want someone coming back at me like, but Koura said, no, Koura says use your brain. Think, don't be robotic, pay attention and be present in the moment. As a general rule, if people don't want deferred payments being set up for other people in the project when they're the investor and they just want their money back, they need to invest more money so that people can get paid up front. No one should be profiting off of people's work without those people also getting paid. Sidebar, soapbox, back on topic now. What does it mean to come on to someone else's project? Writers, filmmakers, new filmmakers, when you go to someone and you say, do you want to produce my script? Or will you help me get my film made? Yes, there are studios out there scouring the world for new IP and projects they can produce. The best way to connect with those places is to go where they are looking and submit your work. There are places like Inktip. Literally just look online where you can submit your script. Read reviews about places. There are industry standard ones you can use without needing an agent or manager. You can enter genuine festivals like the Austin Film Festival or the Slam Dance Screenplay Competition. We have a screenplay competition. It's for short films only, and we're not looking to get you representation. The winning film gets produced. That's the grand prize for that. Other than that, unless you are just trying to sell your script and have somebody make it, you need to hire people. Why? Well, they're doing work. They're providing a service. Even if you're using the barter system, the world runs on exchange. I know this is a potentially controversial topic, and I know that words like capitalism can be argued, and I'm as much against corruption as the next person. But people exist in this world because they give things and they get things. There's a flow between people. However meta you want to get about it, I'm talking about metaphysical, not Facebook and Instagram meta. To exist in the world, there's exchange between people. If someone's going to invest years of their life learning how to do something professionally, there's that meme where the business owner looks at the graphic designer and says, this only took you 10 minutes. Why am I paying you $100? The graphic designer responds, because it took me 10 years to learn. You're not paying me for the minutes. You're paying me for the years. Case in point, I can give my husband a video file, or one of our clients can, give a video file with a couple notes, and that's it. He'll flip it around into a flawless edit in 20 minutes. Sound mix and mastered, color graded VFX captions, all done perfect, ready for posting. No notes, like a social media reel. Because he has edited probably tens of thousands of hours at this point in his life. I'm not kidding. The man has edited thousands and thousands and thousands of videos. That's just how much time he's spent on it. He can also pick up the guitar and play pretty much any song. He can score an entire short film in a day. We're not paying him for the day. We're paying him for the lifetime of music study and learning that made him able to do it in the day. And yes, he is able to do all of those things. He's like amazing. And yeah, he's literally won best music for a film that he scored in less than 24 hours. He's really that good, but he's also invested the time into learning how to do it and how to be that good. Here at Space Dream Productions, we do a lot of work in-house because making things is, well, it's hard work. There are many money-focused people out there who believe that capitalism is simply producing the lowest possible acceptable quality for the highest possible profit margin. Personally, that makes me sick. I don't like that. And I don't work like that. And I don't run my company like that. I believe people have a right to make a profit, and you have a right to charge what's viable for you and your business, and you have a right to demand what you're worth. You also have to be realistic about what your worth is. Currently, my consultation rates are about $150 an hour. 10 years ago, I did not charge $150 an hour. I also hadn't produced over 20 different Best Picture winners or directed dozens of projects and hundreds and thousands of client projects. If I spend an hour giving you advice based on decades of experience, you don't have to live those decades to learn what I'm going to tell you in an hour. It has more value when you're bringing in a producer because they will provide that level of work. So, back to the point. In another episode, I have an example of talking about a line producer who was putting together a film in a specific month in a specific town. I think the example I used was September in Tulsa, Oklahoma. A good line producer is not just going to tell you what the average cost of hotels is. They're going to research the specifics and they're going to understand. And if they're experienced, they're going to know what to look for. For example, there's a holiday in Oklahoma. It's Hanson Day. If you're a Hanson fan, it's huge. The hotels sell out. It's massive, right? If you're trying to film there, it is going to be much more expensive. But let's say you're in Hollywood in the middle of Oscar season. That is going to be very expensive. Or maybe just a random Tuesday in Hollywood versus filming in like Toledo. Different places have different price points, and a good line producer will do their homework and give you something that is valued at their time and their experience and their knowledge. I had an incredible line producer once who spent 7 hours, I'm not kidding, 7 hours with me going over every single line of our entire budget because they were telling me our film was going to cost over $2 million. And I was like, that's not happening. So we went through and we took off $1 million line by line. It was still union compliant, but we adjusted the budgets based on timing and other factors. You have to have the knowledge and experience to be able to do that. And when you're bringing someone onto your film, you have to hire them because you're paying for that service. If you're looking at engaging in a commercial enterprise and making a feature film or a short film doesn't necessarily have to be a commercial enterprise. If you want to just round up people who share your vision and create a rising tide that lifts all ships, make a virtual calling card with a short, all of that, that's amazing. But if you're going to do a commercial enterprise, don't go up to an Oscar-winning DP and say, I need you to work on my film for free. That's literally not going to happen. But find a DP who just finished college and genuinely needs experience. College students, I love you. Your passion will change the world. Stay humble. You've got much to learn. You might have aced your classes. You might have been a superstar in your college, but there is a chasm between college life and real life. And it is okay to live in that space while learning and growing. I'm kind of soapboxing a little bit because to make a film properly and not leave a lot of chaos in your wake, you need to do a lot of work. And it is a lot of work. And the chaos level is usually proportionate to the level of professional experience of the people on the set. Everyone knows independent film. Everyone, quote unquote, knows, quote unquote, independent film is quote unquote chaos. Lots of quote unquotes there. But it's usually because either the project isn't properly organized or the people on set don't actually know what they're doing. I've worked on some independent films and I've produced some independent films where it's freaking amazing. Everybody has an incredible time. And there are people who work with us over and over and over again because they know what the experience is like. It's because we're professionals. It's because we know what we're doing. That work and skill takes knowledge and experience that either people have paid a lot of money to go to school and learn, or more likely they spent a lot of time and paid a lot of money gaining lived experience so they now know how to do it. Things like developing a script into a story, fixing dialogue so it doesn't sound like a 1980s TV show but actually sounds natural and realistic, unless it's supposed to sound like a 1980s TV show, in which case it's very intentionally crafted in that style. But being able to weave together plot points for a strong story and having moments speak to other moments where there are setups and payoffs and strongly defined characters that have their story arc through the story, that is a skill gained from a professional writer who has spent their life building that. And then from there, How are the casting calls written? What sides are selected for the audition? What direction is sent out with the sides at all? Do you even need to do that? Sure, you can cast a film however you want. I've been given auditions where they just give me the whole script and they're like, here, you're reading for this character, read page 4. And I'm like, oh, okay. When we do sides for an audition, we pick a specific scene because we know that scene is going to best showcase the emotional range of the character. We edit it to redact spoilers. Sometimes we might combine 2 or more scenes. I remember when we did Names on the Wall and the actors saw the script, they were like, whoa, what? Because the audition scene was actually 2 different scenes that we put together. We wanted to get that emotional range and see the interaction between the 2 characters in different emotional portrayals so we could see what the actors could do. So we used a couple of different scenes and edited it into one scene for the audition. We've given people scenes for things that aren't even part of the script. It's a completely different scene. We just wanted to see how they performed emotionally, with those sides. For us personally, we also give director's notes. We give context of what we're looking for. We might give some background on the characters, just enough so that, the actors understand the scene and what is happening. Maybe that this is a moment right after one of their parents passed away and the character is a very angry person and they're processing their grief through anger. Just that one little sentence gives way more context than saying angry in parentheses above the dialogue. I feel like this way we try to give the actor something to work with, and we usually get really good tapes. I don't think it's because we're like some magical place and all the best actors flock to us. We've had random people submit to us we've never even met before. I think it helps the actors. I mean, actors invest so much time and money in classes and scene study and character study and psychology and all of this stuff. If you're going to cast a film and you want a good tape, why not spend a little bit of time giving these actors something to work with? It takes time. And, for us, every single tape is watched. Feedback is given to everybody who doesn't get a callback and then who wasn't selected. We say why. Is it vital? No, but it's kind and it gives people a chance at growing. Maybe next time you'll get better tapes from them or there'll be a higher caliber of better actors in the world. I mean, that's worth it. And I hate to say it, but instant gratification isn't just a Gen Z issue. It's also an issue for people who look at what gets done now with no thought to impact of long-term growth and what's going to happen beyond the present moment. We had actors who auditioned with us once. Maybe they weren't so great. We gave them feedback. They auditioned for us again, and they were the star of the next movie. It just serves to make long-term things better. And also realizing that you don't live in a bubble and what you do is going to affect more than you. Having knowledge and skill and knowing how to do that well, okay, why should I bother? I don't know. What world do you want to have tomorrow? Also, for me personally, I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I really care about giving actors feedback. I talk about this a lot. I think it not only helps their mental health, but it gives them direction to grow in so they can become better actors. And then there's a better pool of talent, and that really just helps everybody. So spending an hour or 2 sending feedback is not the end of the world. But you also know how to give that feedback. You have to know how to watch tapes. You have to know what you're looking for in those tapes. You have to know how to write sides. You have to know how to send the sides. You have to know how to track who submitted. How do we, did we reach them? Did we get their tape in? Did we follow up with them? Do we want to follow up with them? Do we get their tape in after we followed up? Does that matter? Did the director watch the tape? What are the notes? Who's getting a callback? Who isn't? All of that organization is a skill and something that you have to know how to do, or you have to work with a trained casting director who knows how to do. So when you hire someone who knows how to do it, you're getting the benefit of that skill and experience instead of just the chaos of here's all the tapes. You can go through it logically and find the best person for the role. So I'm using a lot of casting analogies in this, but the point is that when you're trying to do something that involves doing something, you have to work with someone who knows what they're doing, or you have to be willing to go through the growing pains. And if you want to hire a professional, you have to pay them for it. And maybe that payment is cash. Maybe that payment is a trade. Maybe you're a massage therapist who wants to become a filmmaker and you want someone to read your script. So you offer them massage in exchange for reading your script. Bartering is a thing. All right, another example of why it matters to have someone who knows what they're doing. So when we do callbacks, we do it with the director, and the director gives notes. They give direction. We do that for a couple of reasons. We want to see how the actor takes direction. You can have someone who is an amazing auditioner. They show up, they are prepared, they are trained, they know how to make that tape. But once they get on set, hot mess. You also want to make sure that the actor and the director can actually get along and how they respond to each other. Some people just don't jive. It's just a thing. It happens. It's fine. It's nobody's fault. But nothing is worse than an actor and director who just cannot communicate, especially on a professional set where money is involved and there's 100 people standing around while the actor and director lock horns. It's unnecessary. If the actor can take direction, if they can act on that direction, if they can communicate with the director in a professional way, if the director can communicate with the actor, it's fine for the actor to be like, hey, I think maybe like I hear what you're saying, but I have a question because I feel like the character might be doing this, not that. Like those are vital and valuable conversations to have, but you want to make sure they can have them and have them professionally. I've also seen people, like I said, where their tapes are amazing and then their callbacks are just no. Like they can't maintain continuity, they can't take direction, they can't be off book, they can't connect with a scene partner. They're like a TikTok star who can do amazing monologues, but you put them into an actual movie and no, they just can't connect with another person. So you have to look at all those things when you do a callback. But you have to know to look for all of those things. And when you hire a good casting director who has that training, has that experience, they're going to be able to bring all that to the table. When you have a good producer, they're going to know that you need a good casting director and why, and they're going to know who to call. They're going to know who to trust. They're going to know who has this experience. They're going to make sure the people you're bringing to the table are showcasing the things that you're looking for. So yeah, why do you hire people? It's because they're doing something for you. It's a business transaction. You wouldn't want someone to come to you and be like, give me your stuff. Like, why should you do that? Now, you can get people who go in on like a mutual investment with you, or you can get like a co-production partner. Again, these would be executive producer level people. If somebody owns a piece of the film, they own a piece of the film, and you have to decide how many people you want to split the cake with as far as both financially and creatively. You can get people who want to go all in for a passion project, but people also need to eat. They need to feed their families. They need to feed themselves. They need to have a space to live, medical costs, whatever. When someone comes onto your project, they are investing in you. They are investing their time. They are investing their knowledge. They're investing their resources. And, there are mentorships out there. There's a really incredible organization called Screencraft. I mentor for them. And I partnered with a mentee who's incredible. I love supporting them. And I was able to help them throughout the course of the year with their projects. And I was able to help them with some other things even after I finished mentoring them. My husband mentors with Grammy U. It's the Amazon Music sponsored mentorship program for people entering the music industry. It's through the Recording Academy. I think you can look it up online. So there's lots of mentorship opportunities out there, but that's my choice. And I make sure I have the bandwidth to do that. And it's usually isolated, pre-agreed time. Like I'm going to spend an hour with them a month, or I'm going to spend 6 hours with them over the course of the year, or whatever the mentorship program is. But if I just randomly donate myself to every single person in the world, I would literally explode. I can't do that. I'm one person, and not to be whatever, but I also have my hopes and dreams that I want to chase. So I don't know. I hope this makes sense. But at the end of the day, when you're bringing a professional person onto your team, you're bringing a professional person onto your team. There are nonprofits people can volunteer for. And like I said, we donate stuff all the time. We once did a 10-hour shoot where we were paid for 3 hours because we really wanted to help them. They were a nonprofit and it was a, support for them. But I also make sure it's something we're able to do. Like I knew, okay, that day I can afford to spend that time. And I made sure that's something we can offer. I have to be responsible from our side because I can't do that every day, I probably go a little too far on this. We have clients where we try to offer discounts. I have funded thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of other people's businesses by covering the costs from us because, I can give you a discount, quote unquote, but I'm not going to discount my staff's salary because they're working on your project. I still have to pay them the same amount, whether you paid me or not. So I discount it, quote unquote, but all that really means is my company is covering your business. So when I can, if it's feasible, if it's viable, if I have the means and ability to support you, I'm going to try. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to pay people to work on your project or that you should expect that, because not everyone can afford to do that and it's not viable. And it's honestly not fair. Like my staff work here. This is their jobs. This is their rent. This is their food. This is their gas. This is their money. So I have to pay them. This is a job. It's where a job is where you put something in the world in exchange for something that you need for survival. And you can say jobs shouldn't exist. Capitalism is evil. Money is evil. I will say that corrupt money is evil, but there is something really satisfying in making something and trading it with someone else in exchange for something else. Like that is a good feeling. And it doesn't have to be money. Like I said, you can barter, you can trade services, you can find a lawyer who needs marketing content and make their videos for them in exchange for legal advice, or find a doctor who needs videos or photos of their practice and ask if they'll see you in their office. I don't know if they're allowed to do that. Medical stuff, I think, might have other legal requirements. But my point is, When you want a project done right, you need a professional to do it. And when you have a professional providing services for you, you're not owed their services. You're not owed the years of their life. They deserve to be paid for their time. And they're going to tell you that it has to cost this much money. Unless you're looking for someone who is like, I have no experience. I want to get the experience. I might not know what I'm doing. It's going to be a little rough and bumpy, but I'm going to work for this much money or for deferred payment or whatever. If you're bringing someone onto your project, they are there to help you. They are there to support your vision. They are there to support your message and what you are doing. Paying them, being thankful, saying thank you, treating them with respect. That's all really important. The whole point is, if you want a professional, you have to hire them. Hope that makes sense. I hope these examples make sense. I dove into some kind of like nitty-gritty reasons because those are just like little pockets of the massive web of making a movie. And every single person you bring onto the film is going to know the deep abyss of their specific area. And if you're hiring a really good producer, they're going to know the people who know those things. They're going to know what the things are that need to be known. And that's what you're paying for. You're paying for someone who's bringing their knowledge and their experience to you and who's going to be able to help you. It's a lot. Making movies is a lot, but use this as a point of understanding and not a point of overwhelm and I can't do this. You can totally do this. You got this. Go make a movie. Okay, bye.
You've been listening to Filmmaking Actually with Koura Linda, Space Dream Productions podcast. Subscribe to us on any or all the podcast platforms. If you like what you hear, leave us 5-star ratings and positive reviews on iTunes. It helps more listeners like you discover the show. But the best thing you can do if you really like the show is tell a friend. Want to leave a comment or ask a question? Email at filmmakingactually@gmail.com. This is Spacey speaking, and remember...
What about the fan in Manny's room?
Oh, yeah. Call the guy.
No, you're supposed to do it with him. It's important that we teach him how to do things for himself. My culture men take great pride in doing physical labor.
I know. That's why I hire people from your culture.
You're too funny. I'm gonna share that one with my next husband when we're spending all your money.
And we'll see you next time.